Alright, we got a TWID today. There's a whole bunch of changes to exotic armor, exotic weapons and stuff. We're not going to go over all of it. There's a lot of good changes, a lot of bad changes, a lot of meh changes. We'll talk about a couple of them. Gwen's Invest is going to be interesting. It's basically going to get more super, but also be a little bit more controlled. But it also will create a weakening cloud when you enter or exit super. Or if you just exit invisibility in general, which is interesting. Gwen's Invest might be pretty cracked in that sense. We've got Radiant Dance Machines, which is actually crazy. It's getting a buff. It improves airborne effectiveness and hip fire mobility range and accuracy for primary ammo weapons, which is intriguing. Multi-kills with primary ammo weapons refund dodge energy. Interesting. When dodge energy is full, multi-kills grant extra charges. Powerful combatants and guardians count as more than one kill. It also says up here they're making it official. Every dodge is a dodge. So in theory, the dodge abilities that create stuff or do stuff should work for it in theory. We'll see. I'm kind of intrigued to see how that works. Sight and Rampart's getting a buff. Not sure how it'll work fully. We'll see. Capri's Horn's getting a buff. It's now going to create 3 waves, which is crazy, but it no longer travels back. It just goes out, and that's it. But the tracking on the waves have been enhanced, which is scary. Now requires a solar super to equip, which is a good nerf in a sense, because it actually requires you to be solar. Combats damaged by these waves now create sunspots. Players do not, unless they are defeated, then they create a sunspot. Let's see, we've got, Warlocks didn't get anything too crazy. It's kind of basic. They gave Geomags its effect back, but made it a little different. They made it where it's Bolt Charge. When you have Bolt Charge, you sprint, you get super energy back, which will make it a little harder to get. It won't be as easy as the previous was, but still kind of broken. We'll see. Exotics weapons are getting changes, which is crazy. Whole bunch of PvE damage increases. Linear fusions are finally getting a buff in PvE. Hallelujah. Versus all combatants, 10%. We'll see if that's enough to make them actually useful again. I'm excited for that. A bunch of changes for fusion. Aggressive frame fusions. They're actually trying to make them useful. It basically sounds like it's going to be a Bastion, but legendary version. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how that turns out. Legendary Bastions now. We'll see. Support frame auto rifles. They're making them a little better to try to bring more out in the future. Rocket-assisted frame sidearms, making them nerfed and buffed sort of at the same time, make them more useful. Exotic weapons, we got Lorentz Driver right off the bat. Hallelujah, it's getting a buff. It is more of a PvE only buff. It could work in PvP as well, but it's not that great. It's more PvE oriented. Picking up a bounty tag now grants 1 ammo to the mag, triggering Ligurian sight. Isn't it supposed to be Ligurian Gaze, not Sight? No, it is Ligurian Sight, right? By picking up a bounty tag, adds 6 ammo to the mag the first time you trigger it. Returns to adding 1 ammo per tag on extensions while the buff remains active. So, cool. Just reload thing. I assume this is not from thin air. I assume this is from your reserves because it'd be broken as from thin air. So, yeah. Delicate Tomb, they're trying to make it better, but I don't know if they'll ever get there, so we'll see. Darcy is now Gallahorn, but for snipers, legendary snipers. So, if you use Darcy, you increase your teammates' damage. With legendary snipers, if they're using legendary snipers and you're using Darcy, you increase it. You can stack it up to 5 times increase for damage. I'm not sure if it's 5 times damage or it's just a 5 times 5 stacks of increase. I don't know how much the percent is exactly. But you also Darcy gains a 15% damage increase after granting 5 stacks to a teammate. So if I give it to you, then you get damage increase and I get damage increase. So that's kind of cool. We'll see the exotic class item glaives are getting buffs. They're adding they're making it where now 6 shots or 6 hits, so you can either melee 6 things or shoot 6 things or a mixture of the two, and you can get the special reload now. It's no longer tied to the glaive energy, thank goodness. Edge of Concurrence is getting jolting feedback, which is just volt shot, but without having to reload. Edge of Action is getting destabilizing rounds, which is the Titan one, and Edge of Intent is getting incandescent, which is the Warlock one. It's adding a cure pulse to the special shot impact, so when you shoot the turret on the ground, when you activate the turret and shoot it, it'll cause a healing pulse, so that's kind of cool. Dead Messengers are getting, and Hardlight and Borealis are getting a damage increase when you get their effect procced. They're taking away the extra stats that you gain, unfortunately. So you don't gain the stats anymore, but they are increasing the stability and aim assist by 10 to give it the Void Element, because they said the Arc one has too many other ways of increasing handling, so the Arc doesn't matter. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but that's fine. It's kind of trash. I don't really agree with this buff. I think they should give it the elements. I think they should have kept it what they had it and given it each one an elemental buff. Incandescent, Volt Shot, or Destabilizing. I think that's how it should be. I think they should also add the 2 elements for Threadlings and Freeze. Slow and Freeze. I think that'd be really cool if they did that, but Bungie won't. Telesso's getting a buff. They're making it where now it's Harbinger's Pulse triggers on any Void Funnel blows, not just itself. Not only refills Telesto's ammo from reserves when you activate its perk. Final blows requirement increased from 2 to 3. However, Telesto final blows count double. In other words, will trigger from 2 Telesto final blows, 1 Telesto final blow plus 1 other void final blow, or 3 other void final blows. So yeah, pretty simple. Multi-kill timer increased from 2 seconds to 4.5 seconds, which is nice. Catalyst, new perk, Harbinger Seif. After 3 activations of Harbinger's Pulse, special reload the weapon to cause a rain of Telesto projectiles on your next direct hit. This could be fucking crazy, potentially, for ad clearing. We'll see. If Excalibur's getting a buff, don't really care. Wardcliffe's getting a buff, it's just going to increase, it's just going to add bolt charge stacks to you, which is the new thing coming out next season, not great. Queensbreaker's getting an insanely different change. Players can special reload at any time to swap between scopes, which is just holding a reload button, which is insane. It's getting this. Marksman Sight retains the previous behavior of firing a single shot that changes to nearby targets and blinds them. The range of the chain has increased from 8 meters to 10 meters. Combat Sights now alters the weapon to fire a 3-round burst of a charge rate of 533, sustained damage on a target, decreases the charge time of the weapon down to 300 charge time. That's insane. With no loss to damage, which is even more insane. Useful for quickly dealing damage to bosses or other high health targets. This could be a new meta of damage, potentially, depending on what it actually does. We will see. The scope that you select in the inspection screen will determine which scope in activity by default when spawning into an activity, which is insane. Basically, you still have the screen to choose what scope you want, but it'll be that default, and if you want to switch to the other one, you can now manually. Colony got a buff, but not really. They increases detonation damage by 40%, and still just creates 1 extra might versus enemies. Players, it's still 1 might per kill, so every time you kill someone, PvP, it creates 1 extra robot, that's all it does. And PvE, it creates 2 for miners, 3 for elites, and then 6 for champion mini-bosses if you kill Colony, which, yeah. Quicksilver just becomes better. It gets the rocket a little quicker, that's it. Legend of Acris, which is an insanely broken gun right now. It's really good for a lot of shit. It is situational, but it's getting a buff. Reduced spread angle by 33%, which means it's going to be less spread. Increased maximum projectile range from 12 to 18 meters. That's insane. The 4 Horsemen reduced the rate of fire slightly to give more control over wasting shots. Loads ammo from reserves to the magazine per kill. Interesting. We'll see how that works. Lord of Wolves is getting a rework. Increased range, reduced base damage, removed accuracy penalties from standard fire mode. Release the Wolves now triggers on hipfire instead of special reload, which is interesting. Fires full auto, greatly increased damage and rate of fire, reduced accuracy and range. Catalyst, reload speed and stability boosts are now built in. When Release the Wolves is active, dealing damage to targets scorches them. So hipfire scorches targets. When ADS, defeating targets spreads scorch to nearby combatants, which is incandescent basically. So that's cool. Cloud Strike is getting the bolt shot thing basically. They're just basically giving it to it. Added behavior to Stormbreaker. Stormbringer perk. Rapid precision hits create a lightning storm on the point of impact and grants a stack of bolt charge. Added behavior to Mortal Polarity perk. Precision final blows generate a lightning bolt at the target's location and grants a moderate amount of bolt charge. Not that impressive. Added behavior to Thunderlord to Rain Havoc perk. Final blows with this weapon generate lightning strikes from above. Lightning strikes grant a stack of bolt charge strong against overload champions. Destabilizing rounds is getting changed a little bit. Now grants volatile rounds for 2 seconds if any targets are hit by the volatile burst from the initial final blow. So it sounds like every shot you take for 2 seconds will be volatile, will create volatility, which is cool, I guess. Reduce internal cooldown from 4 seconds to 1.5 seconds. I think they should just get rid of it completely, personally, but that's fine. Full Court now scales the detonation and burn damages of area denial grenade launchers, which is insane. Mission Assassin, remove both multi-kill and reload timers. Flash Counter, rework to read, taking damage after guarding emits a disorienting blast. No longer requires a timed import or melee to trigger. Deals moderate damage in a large cone in front of you, disorienting combatants. That's crazy. We're getting some new weapons. Nightfall, Lotus Eater, Void Assist, Rocket Assisted Sidearm. I'm a little upset because this thing does not have destabilizing rounds, which is really annoying because it should have destabilizing rounds. I don't know why it doesn't. Bungie, what the fuck? Unless this redacted perk is something crazy, I don't know. But it's got strategic Strategist, Feeding Frenzy, Well-Rounded, Shoot to Loot, Beacon Rounds, Reconstruction. Either Shoot to Loot or Reconstruction is the best one, in my opinion, perk for that. Fourth column, One for All, Redacted, High Ground, Reverberation Frenzy, Drone Junkie. All these are trash, other than maybe High Ground. I know Frenzy, a lot of people like, but no, it's trash. One for All is, yeah, but we already have one of that, and I don't really care for One for All either. I wanted it to be destabilizing rounds to make it like Incandescent or Volt Shot. I've said I didn't get, unless Redacted is a new destabilizing type perk. I don't know what the point of it is. A little upset. We'll see, though, when it officially launches. Maybe the Redacted is a destabilizing perk. We'll wait to see. Palidrome is officially returning. It officially announced it. Let's go, Pally. Pally is back. Archadactive Hand Cannon, Closing Time, Elemental Capacitor, Explosive Payload, Redacted, Outlaw to the Pain. Either Explosive Payload, Closing Time, or Elemental Capacitor. All three really good perks. You can choose. It's up to you. I personally think either Explosive or Closing Time would be the best for the extra handling from Closing Time, or Explosive just for the little extra range. And since you don't really have a range fall off as much for the initial explosive payload part. So yeah, Elemental Capacitor is really great too. You could increase its handling by a lot too, so could definitely work. Redacted, if it's a good perk, could be good for PvP. I don't know, we'll see. Fourth column, Magnificent Howl, Snapshot Sights, Master of Arms, Opening Shot, Redacted, Desperate Measures. Opening Shot, Master of Arms, Magnificent Howl. All three cracked perks, and all three insanely going to be good on it, potentially. Obviously, Opening Shot, obviously Magnificent Howl, both are really good. Master of Arms just depends on how much damage you get, how easy it is. Master of Arms potentially could be the new best perk for hand cannons. It's the first hand cannon, I believe, to have it, so I'm interested to see how that works. Again, we don't know what Redacted is. It could be good, could be bad, just depends on what it is. We'll wait to see. We're getting a new Vanguard Ops weapon called Cynosure, Stranded Aggressive Rocket Launcher. It's a rocket launcher. These aggressive frames aren't the best. They're not horrible, they're not the best either. It just depends on what you like or don't like. If you like these, then, cool. Reconstruction, Invisa's Arsenal, Slice, Demolitionist, Field Prep, Tracking Module, Synthetic Arsenal, Impulse, Amplifier, Ambition Assassin, Clown Cartridge, Danger Zone Overflow. Envious Arsenal or Reconstruction is the best perks in my opinion. Cloud Cartridge ain't bad, but I think Reconstruction or Envious Arsenal is the best options. Next column, Chain Reaction, Explosive Light, Redacted, Bipod, Cluster Bomb, Quick Draw, Lasting Impressions, a Drone Junkie, Reverberation, Desperate Measures, High Ground, Hatchling. If you're trying to build a DPS rocket, or like for quick damage or a lot of shots at once, you can use either Lasting Impressions with Reconstruction, or Bipod Reconstruction, or Bipod with Envious Arsenal. That could work too. There's a few different combos here. Redacted, don't know what it is. It could be a good perk, could be trash. We'll see. As a whole, nothing great on here. High Ground could be interesting potentially, but I don't know. So more than likely, Bipod or Explosive Light or Lasting Impressions is your best options. High Ground could be good. I don't know. We'll see. Arc Rapid Fire Glaive called Backfang for Gambit. I'll be honest, I don't know what's good on this. Someone would have to tell me. If you know in the comments, let me know. I don't know what's good on glaives. I'm not even going to try to tell you what's good or bad for PvE or PvP. The only thing I think is dumb is it has Volt Shot, which is pointless, I feel like, on a glaive. Yeah, Volt Shot would be fun, but it's a glaive. It takes a while to reload, so I feel like it should have had the new Volt Shot perk, which is to do damage in it crates. That's just my opinion. So kind of think this is trash, but that's my opinion. I don't know. We got Crucible, Jokester's Longsword, Void, Heavy Burst, Pulse Rifle. We've got Closing Time, Demolitionist, Dragonfly, Killing Wind, Gutshot Straight, Lone Wolf, Pugilist, Enlightened Action, Rewind Rounds, Repulsor Brace, Strategist, Shoot to Loot. Fourth column, well, and this one, Closing Time, Killing Wind, Lone Wolf is your best options for PvP. PvE, you can use Dragonfly, you can use Rewind Rounds, Repulsor Brace, something like that, Shoot to Loot. Those would work for PvE. Fourth column, Drone Junkie, Desperado, Desperate Measures, Destabilizing Rounds, Withering Gaze, Headseeker, High Impact Reserves, Under Pressure, One for All, Swashbucklers, and Moment. PvP, I'd recommend either Headseeker or Zen Moment or Under Pressure would probably be one of the things. Headseeker is obviously a really good perk, but you could definitely use Under Pressure or Zen Moment and it would work too. Other thing I would recommend for PvP potentially, I don't know for sure, is Withering Gaze. The Redacted perk, again, we don't know if it's good or bad, so we don't know if it's good for PvE or PvP. Withering Gaze might be good in PvP though. It does require you to aim down sights for a minute, but in those lanes where you get there first, you aim down sights, wait a second, they peek. You do a little bit more damage, so in theory, this could make it easier to 2-burst someone. In theory. It's not a god tier perk, but it might not be bad either. So it's really situational. So someone have to let me know, or if I don't get one and test it out, someone will have to let me know if it's good or not at that point. It's an interesting perk, but more than likely Lone Wolf Head Seeker or Killing Wind Head Seeker or Closing Time Head Seeker is what I'd go for more than likely. So that's just my opinion on it. More weapons leaving soon. We have Undercurrent, which leaves next week. We got the Prophet, which leaves next week. We've got Reese Walker and Lethal Abundance leaving this week when this week ends. Game to Give 2025 is officially kicked off. We should be having this active and live when we're streaming today. We'll be streaming in a few hours, or a couple hours. We'll stream for a few hours. This should be available to donate, so if you want to come by and donate, come by and donate. I'd appreciate it. Help Bungie out. Bungie might be effed at the gaming world, but they are pretty good at helping people around the world, so, might as well help out and give people needs, especially with all the chaos going on in the world nowadays. Everybody needs some help, so, if you got the ability to help out. Cool emblems as well to earn. There's a new emote, as you see. It's a heart with a cape. It's kind of okay. I think some of the emotes in the past have been a lot better, in my opinion, but it's fine. You got a new Sparrow. The Sparrow don't look that great. It's really pixelated looking and stuff. I know it's the effect they have on it, but I don't like that effect, so kind of bad, in my opinion, but it's fine. Stuff from the vault that they've had before you can get as well. $500 plus emblem, you get this. If you do $250, you get that. You get $777, you get that. $15,000, you get that. They're all cool emblems, so yeah. Make sure you come by. And if you don't donate to my channel, on my channel, make sure you just go donate on another channel. There should be a link in the description and stuff on a lot of the channels that are streaming. So make sure you go help them out, help Bungie out a little bit there. But anyways, that is pretty much everything. There's these new emblems for your creations, which is cool if you care for Movie of the Week and Artist of the Week. They should have Music of the Week now. I'm just saying it'd be kind of cool if they add Music of the Week for the organ, but that's my opinion. But yeah, as a whole, that's it. And we are done for today. That was a lot, and we have a bit more for next week, so let's not make this chunk of a TWID bigger than needed. Just be ready. Only 12 more days until Heresy, Ayat, Destiny 2 Community Team. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave, like, subscribe, leave a comment what you think. Are you excited for the changes? I'm happy we're finally getting Pally back. It's got decent rolls. I'm excited to see what they do with Lawrence as well. I'm hoping they'll have an extra secret buff in the background because they've done it a couple times. See if maybe we finally got Lawrence and PvP to terrorize the community again and get hated on, but we'll see. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment what you think. Thanks for watching. We out.